Hi everybody and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So I have my weekly wrap up for you. If you haven't seen my book haul, I apologize for sounding nasally and stuff. I finally decided to get sick because that's what my body decided to do. So this week I have 4 books to wrap you up on, and I'm super excited about most of them to share with you. Yeah, because actually I had a really good reading week. I think I gave everything 4 stars or more, so that's always a good thing. I've been really liking this, like, reading my shelf as I want to, because I feel like it's just made my reading experience so much nicer, and, like, I feel like I enjoy the books that I pick up because I'm not, like, forcing myself to read them, so that's a plus. So the first book I have to share with you is My Last Kiss by Bethany Neal. This is about a girl named Cassidy, and she is dead. We start the book with her dead, and she is kind of like a ghost, like, living in this world, because in the main world, they claim that she, like, committed suicide at her birthday party, but she thinks that there's more to that. She kind of has a feeling that she was possibly murdered, so she's kind of trying to figure out, like, what happened to her, how did she die, why did she die, and so she kind of floats around the past of, because she doesn't remember either. So she floats around the past of, like, following her friends and her family around, / kind of remembering things from that night. Like, she'll just kind of, like, transport in her mind to that night. And it goes back and forth. And I thought it was interesting. I gave it 4 stars. I don't exactly know why I didn't give it 5 stars, but there's, like my usual saying, there was something that just wasn't there. I don't know what exactly. I think maybe, again, like, a little bit more oomph. It did get a little slow at some points where I could have probably just dealt with a little bit quicker. But yeah, overall, I thought this was really interesting, and I did not pick the ending. I did not predict it at all. So I think that in itself is always really good, because I love when I totally guess wrong. So that's that. So I definitely recommend this YA kind of thriller mystery-ish novel, because sometimes I feel like that's really hard to do in YA, and I think this one definitely succeeded with that. After that, this was my Thursday into Friday book, and I read, no, not Thursday into Friday, Friday into Saturday, and I read The Undomestic Goddess by Sophie Kinsella. This has been one of those books that's been on my shelf for a while that I just kind of have been putting off, and I finally decided to pick it up. It's interesting because now this is my 3rd Sophie Kinsella book. I've read this one, I've read Can You Keep a Secret, and I've read the Confessions of a Shopaholic series. I've only read the first book. It's so interesting because I almost let the Shopaholic book destroy me forever from Sophie Kinsella, like, put me off, because I really did not like that book. And I was scared to read anything else by her. And I think my problem with that was simply just the characters in that book, and I just didn't like the decisions they were making. But, like, her other storylines that she has in her other books, I think, just are better for me than the Shopaholic. So maybe it's just the main character I couldn't do with the other ones, because this one and Can You Keep a Secret I really enjoyed. I think I actually gave this one 5 stars. And I believe I gave Can You Keep a Secret 4.5. So I'm not scared of Sophie Kinsella anymore. I'm probably still going to stay away from the Shopaholic series, but anything else she writes, I'm really interested in getting to. This one is about a woman who is a lawyer, and one day there's kind of a mistake that happens, and she ends up knocking on the door of these people, and she was basically just wanting to know where the nearest hotel was and a drink of water, and they mistake her as somebody that's interviewing for their housekeeper. And she somehow ends up in this world where she has to cook and clean, and, like, being this top lawyer, like, she's never even done that for herself, and now she's got to try to do this and for them. Obviously, there's a love story in here, and I thought it was just really fun, and I really enjoyed this book, so I definitely recommend this one as well. And because it was a long weekend, I decided that I wanted to kind of try to read a longer book, and just to kind of, like, take my time with it or knock it out because it's a long weekend. I originally attempted to read The Map of Time by Felix J. Palma, and I got like 20 pages in, and it was just so boring. And this book is over 600 pages, and I was like, there's no pushing myself through this. I like couldn't get into it. There's just a lot of information that I just wanted the story, and this author seems like somebody who just wants to be very descriptive and digress on the storyline and like stray away from the storyline. And for me, that was not what I needed at that point in time. So I'm going to save it for now, but I'm kind of scared to try it again. So we'll see, but I just couldn't do this one. So instead, I decided to pick up Lady of the Eternal City by Kate Quinn, because I started this in September, and it's historical fiction, and historical fiction is one of those things that I love to read it, but it takes me forever because I really need to be able to sit there and kind of engage myself in it because there's so much going on. So I decided to put this off when I was reading it in September, and I finally decided, hey, now's the time to pick it up, because it is a little over 500 pages, so I was like, this is perfect. So I read this Saturday into Sunday, and I enjoyed this book so much. I love Kate Quinn's series. This is the Empress of Rome series. I love it to pieces. I loved it before BookTube. I never see it on BookTube. You need to check out the series if you like historical fiction in Rome. Like, it's so good. I did give this one 4 stars, 4.5 stars, compared to her other books. The one bad thing with historical fiction is, like, there's a storyline going on, but sometimes it just feels like it's just going and going and going, and you don't know really where it's going to, which makes it kind of go a little bit slower. But I still really loved it. I thought the series was over, and then a third book came out. I thought the series was over, and then this one came out. So I did ask Kate Quinn on Goodreads if she was going to continue this story and continue the series, because they are kind of companion novels. They do switch perspectives of characters. And she said, like, for now it's done. The next series, that like the next book storyline that she could go into, she doesn't really want to write because of the way those characters' lives are. So I'm going to say that this one is done, and I'm so glad that I've read it, and I cannot wait to get to her other series, which I also own, The Serpent of the Pearl. That one's a duology, so I'm going to hopefully get to that some point this year. But for now, I'm really excited that I read this one. And then Monday was Martin Luther King Day, so another day off. I did spend that day trying to get my dad out of the hospital, but before we left that morning, I read Shot Through the Heart by Nat Kane. I believe this is a book that's mostly out in the UK, I want to say. I got this through Book Outlet. There's like no reviews on this book. There's only like 60 reviews or something like that, or 60 something reviews and 23 ratings. I don't remember. Very, very low. And this is a UK edition, I guess. I got it off Book Outlet, but it does say UK on it, so I don't really know. And the reviews are kind of mixed for this, but I think if you go into this expecting what I was expecting out of it, I think you're going to enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. But if you go into it expecting a whole ton from it, you're not going to. I mean, just looking at this cover, you could tell it's chick lit. It's about a girl who's kind of like the film goddess in LA, and she hates paparazzi. And of course, there's a paparazzi, and he and her obviously kind of entangle lives. So, like, obviously, like, if you think about it that way, like, it's gonna be not like the best thing you've ever read, but it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be entertaining, but you have to take it as that. Like, you can't take it too seriously, which I think some people that were reviewing it did agree with. And as I was reading this, I was kind of reading through reviews, and I saw somebody say, like, if you like Jackie Collins, you're gonna like this. And I was already halfway through. I was like, oh my god, I love Jackie Collins, like, that's so exciting. And I didn't even know that going into this. And then at one point, one of the characters in this book is actually reading a Jackie Collins book, and it was just like, oh, I love Jackie Collins. So it just, like, made my experience with this book so much more exciting. I did give it 4 stars. Towards the end, it just kind of was ready to be over. Not that this is a super long book, but sometimes with, like, light, fluffy things, you just know it's going to end soon, so it should just end. And it kind of kept going because there's, like, this storyline that kind of needed to be played out to add some drama to it, but I did still really enjoy it, and it's such a gorgeous book, and I'm interested to see anything else that Matt Cain writes. So I think he only has one other book out, but I still recommend this one as well. This one was 4 stars, just a light, cheesy type of book. And then last night I didn't read. With this cold, I came home and I fell asleep for 2 hours and I couldn't concentrate on anything. So I decided that I was going to just watch a movie. I watched Vampire Academy. I should have brought the DVD case over with me. It's over there right now. I did enjoy it. I was expecting it to be this full of cheese thing based off of, I remember watching the trailer for it. I was expecting it to be really cheesy, but it was funny. It was engaging. I know that obviously things were changed, but I tried not to judge it too harshly. And I thought it was fun, and I wish there was more movies coming out, but I think it was good for what it was worth. So I do recommend checking it out. I could see why people don't like it, but I thought it was rather good. And the books that I do plan on reading for this following week are this series. I don't remember what the trilogy is called, but we have Keeper of the Light by Diane Chamberlain, Kiss River by Diane Chamberlain, and Her Mother's Shadow by Diane Chamberlain. I do plan on trying to marathon these 3 books and read them together. If not, I'll probably try to find something else to read, but I definitely am going to try to pick up Keeper of the Light tonight. I'm about to take my medicine, so we'll see if it makes me pass out or not, but if I don't pass out, I'm definitely starting this tonight. So I hope you guys had a really great reading week. I look forward to seeing your comments down below on anything that you've read this week or anything that you're looking forward to reading.